Well, hello and welcome along to the UK Padel County Championships over 50s, where we apologise first of all, because I said we'd be back on air yesterday at around 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So it's all about 2 hours late. There's been lots of long dramatic matches, lots of moving and shaking, but some brilliant paddle on day 2 of these championships. If you were with us yesterday, you would have witnessed a phenomenal win for the Channel Islands, winning it 13-11 in the deciding championship tiebreaker to defeat Gloucestershire in what was a wonderful final. That was in the mixed. We're focusing on the women's and then the men's. Now, this is going to be a women's semi-final matchup between Yorkshire and Gloucestershire. And as I mentioned, Gloucestershire losing in the mixed final yesterday. Well, they got brilliant revenge. They say it's a dish best served cold. Well, it was pretty warm because it was only a day later that they were able to get the better of the Channel Islands in the quarterfinals. They did it in the deciding championship tiebreaker as well, so perhaps the sweetest way possible. And now they've booked this semi-final meeting with Yorkshire, who beat Kent in the quarterfinals. They top Group 1, Gloucestershire top Group 3. And someone who knows a little bit about Yorkshire is sat alongside myself, Pete Hodges. Tom Fallis with me once again. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, very good, Pete. Very happy to be back here. We've seen some amazing matches already this morning. And yeah, can't wait to watch some more great stuff. I'll try and keep it as unbiased as possible, but might struggle.
Well, you're technically still Surrey, right? We've
been
through
true.
This.
Yeah. So we can go off that.
Yeah,
but
and I'm guessing if you see a terrible performance from Yorkshire, you'll be going back to Surrey, right? You'll say, no, Surrey is still my county.
I'll keep it very quiet that I'm repping Yorkshire if they don't do well here.
But
no, I'm expecting a good match.
Yeah, it should be really good. It's in terms of rankings in the nation, Sally Fisher and Nikki Horn both ranked 3. And for Gloucestershire, well, Heather Sheridan's ranked 4, and we saw her do the business on this court time and time again yesterday. Was mightily impressive. She's represented Ireland before in paddle, and she's partnering Sally Pendry, who's ranked 28. So she's a little bit behind Marie Bell, who's 16. So they're splitting Marie Bell and Heather Sheridan. So I wonder whether that's a bit of a tactic from the captain to perhaps set up what might be a championship tiebreaker decider.
Yeah, it's always so interesting to see what their pairings are going to be. I mean, I'm sure that all these players have played with each other so often. So yeah, they know what they're doing. They've also played a lot with the opposition when it gets to these stages. There's a lot of tournaments that they're playing each other continuously, so maybe that has something to do with it as well.
Yeah, it's a good point actually in terms of selecting the player for the opposition. But Gloucestershire, who, as I say, made it all the way through to the final of the mixed, which Heather Sheridan and Marie Bell were big parts of that. But Sally Pendry stepping up onto court 1 in the ones for Gloucestershire in the women's. And it'll be very interesting. We chatted to the captain of Surrey yesterday, Nez, and she was telling us about the fact that she sometimes would select teams in order for that deciding championship tiebreaker. So just to explain, because you might be wondering why I keep mentioning the championship tiebreaker, how this format works. In the women's, it's full sets, and then it's a deciding match tiebreaker if it is split sets. There are 2 matches that are going on. We're watching the ones. There are the 2s on the other court. You have to have your top-ranked player in the ones. That's the only rule. Other than that, you can pair them with whoever you want. But, of course, if you win both of the matches, you win the tie. If the matches are split, it goes to a championship tiebreak, so a 10-point tiebreaker where one of each pair will play each other, if that makes sense. So we're underway, and Yorkshire able to secure the first point.
Yeah, they need to looking quite aggressive, like they wanted to take the net. It's a good first point from Yorkshire.
So it's Sally Fisher serving, with Nikki Horn at the net. Bound to be a few nerves, because this is the biggest event for all of these players. Just looking at the rankings coming into the women's event, Yorkshire were the _1. So that's the reason, really, Tom wants to join that county. Nothing to do with living in Leeds.
I'm just a glory hunter, really, at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, you're an Arsenal fan, so that's technically not true. So 30 all in this first game. Of course, we saw in the mixed, other than the final, which was a dramatic final, it was fastest to 4. But these are full sets. Incidentally, Gloucestershire are the 3rd ranked team in this competition in the over 50s. So it's seeded 1 against seeded 3.
Rare double fault there, we've just seen.
Yeah, and you have to remember as well, there's been a lot of paddle that has been played. Some of these players would have been involved in the mixed yesterday, but we were having the group stages yesterday as well in the women's. It's a great serve, nice response to the double.
That's a really good point, Pete, and I think something we've not really mentioned much, but you are playing so much paddle over this weekend. And, you know, some of these players we've seen on this court a lot, and it's very impressive, and it's so hard to keep your focus for a whole weekend over multiple matches. It's very impressive.
Such a good way to keep you fit. And, well, a golden point is secured by Yorkshire. A little different in the women's to the mix. We had silver points in the mix, but it's a golden point in the women's and the men's. So that's a deciding point straight away when it gets to deuce. And as you can see there, Sally Fisher taking full advantage of it. So a little bit of nerves, but what a way to respond.
Yeah, lovely to get that first service game under your belt as well. I quite often prefer to receive first, just because it takes me a little while to warm into it. So that first service game, if you drop that just because you've slightly lacked focus, it's so easy to do, and it loses that advantage straight away. So good hold there from Yorkshire.
Well, as you were saying as well, in terms of, you know, so many of these players have been playing for the full weekend. It's so incredible how fit they are, over 50 especially. I mean, we went for a little bit of a paddle hit about quarter of an hour ago. It's taken me all of the 15 minutes. I mean, we hit for about 3 minutes, and I've only just got my breath back.
Yeah, I'm still sweating a lot. So,
and you were the ones teaching me. You were just standing. I mean, yeah. Anyway, but with these players, they are playing match after match after match, and it was a very quick turnaround from the quarters to the semis.
I was very impressed with your performance, Pete. So I do hope you continue playing.
I mean, flattery will get you everywhere. But I think you're also lying. Right, lovely little pick up there, though, from Sally. It was a bit of a scrappy first game, but first long rally that we've had, and it's Yorkshire who come out on top.
Yeah, it's a good rally, and I think we'll be seeing quite a lot more of that throughout the game.
Beautifully timed return from Nikki Horn.
And just on that return, yeah, as you were saying before, we've not seen this pair play together yet. So when it's potentially a new pairing, that down the middle shot can be really effective because you don't quite know if your partner's going to take it. You've not played many matches together before. I mean, I'm not sure what the stats are on these two players, but it's quite a good tactic.
Just overcooking that smash. And this is something you were teaching me about because, you know, being a former tennis player, I'm so used to hitting that smash at the highest point, whereas you were saying let it drop, cut around the ball.
Yeah, you want to be hitting it around head height for that defensive smash.
Oh, that's a bit of wizardry. It's been a bit hit and miss, hasn't it, so far from Sally Fisher? We've seen a couple of errors, but a couple of amazing shots, and well, she's timed those amazing shots very well because that one secures the break for Yorkshire.
Great shot, and using the turn to her advantage in the corner there. Well played.
also saw yesterday Heather Sheridan playing, but am I right in thinking that she was on the left side?
Yeah, I think she was. So I don't know if that's potentially because of how many matches she's played. Typically, the left-sided player will be playing a lot more shots than the right-sided player, because if you're both right-handed, that overhead you're going to be taking about 60 or 70% of those lobs that go up, encroaching onto that right side. So you do tend to play a lot more shots. So that might have something to do with it.
What we do know is that she re-watched all of yesterday's play, which is even more impressive because it was a long final. It finished pretty late here, and that shows you the dedication to become the player that Heather Sheridan is.
Absolutely. So yeah, maybe it's a lack of sleep. But it's true. I mean, watching yourself back is such a important part of player development, and something that players don't often have the privilege of being able to do, which is why it's wonderful that UK Padel is streaming all these games and they're all available to watch back. I definitely would love to be able to watch myself more. You maybe think you're doing something amazing and you watch yourself back, and actually it's quite the opposite.
You coach a little bit? Do you use video analysis?
I've not loads, but I would like to do it a lot more. I think it tends to be more for the sort of higher performance advanced coaching as opposed to beginners, but at any level can utilize it, and might be something I'll try and introduce more.
And it comes off the side wall. So it's been a terrific start here for Yorkshire. They have raced out of the blocks. They back up the break for a 3-love lead. Yeah, again, not to use the T word, but I'm gonna. Can't help it. Great story in tennis. Daniil Medvedev. It's just as we're talking about video work and watching yourself, as in he's got quite a funky forehand. But of course, former world #1, Grand Slam champion, so he's not bad. But he said he couldn't believe it first time that someone showed him what he looked like with his forehand, and he said he laughed because he thought he was doing something completely different. It's obviously an effective shot. He got to world #1 with it, but he describes himself as a bit octopus arms. But in his head, he said it was completely different to what he then saw. He thought it was loads smoother and beautiful.
That's so interesting to him, because I've always thought that watching him, but also you can't say anything about it when he's winning Grand Slams and playing the way he plays. But it's not the typical forehand and backhand you'd maybe be teaching the 8-year-olds. But yeah, interesting to know.
Yeah, so it is, I think, always interesting to show anyone, almost in any sport, to see what they're doing, because in their mind, I think in our mind, we always think we're playing the perfect, most technically sound, pure shot. Even when my golf ball goes, wild into the bushes or trickles off the end of the tee, I still think it's a beautiful swing.
Yeah, I've not quite gotten into my golf phase yet. I'm sure it will come, but knowing the way I react with bad tennis and paddle shots, I think it might not be the best for me.
You'd be talking about not only your ball going into the bushes, the clubs.
Definitely the clubs.
Right, yeah. That's great defence from Fischer. They've done well there at Gloucestershire, because they were on top of that point. They had to reset, and they're able to win it, get on the front foot once again.
And not just on watching yourself back, but also watching pros and just watching more of the sport. There's a lot of great streaming available, and it makes such a difference to your ability to play it. It can make you such a better player watching pros and the way they do it. I really enjoy watching a lot of the women's game in Padel, actually, because tactically it's so interesting, and the points are so long. Quite a few of the men are doing things that you really just would never be able to dream of, smashing it out past the baseline. But the women are incredible players because they're so tactical, and it's stuff that any level is able to introduce into their game just by watching and learning. So
yeah, and this is why it's great to watch this as well, the level that we've got here, the over 50s, in terms of the level of paddle we're seeing, exactly as you were saying, in terms of the tactics. Someone like Heather Sheridan, who we're seeing just how she can maneuver the ball around. Absolutely. Always seems to be in the right position.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why, we've said it time and time again throughout the weekend, it's not a sport that is all about power. It's more about finesse and the tactics and the guile. Oh, that's a stunner. She's done it again, Sally Fisher.
What a shot. Again, that just down the middle, low and down the middle. Both those Gloucester players just not quite knowing who's going for it. It works so well.
Don't quite know what's coming next from Sally Fisher, do you? I mean, when she's on the back foot or on the pirouette, almost at her most dangerous. Adapted really well there as well, did Fisher. Well, might have been going long. It's worked out all right.
What a point.
And that's in as well. Backwards and forwards are simply a sublime point. It's a shame it ends on an error, but all four players really contributing to an absolutely brilliant point.
It's the kind of paddle point you love to see. Switching, you don't know who's going to win the point. One team seems on top and then another comes back into it. Great point. I think that really does mark what makes it a great player, is being able to turn a defensive shot into an attacking shot. You know, it seems like you're really on the back foot and then suddenly with one good ball you're able to take that front foot again, and yeah, Fisher seems to be doing that very well.
Really well reached by Sheridan. And this time Gloucestershire getting on the front foot. Oh, it's a wonderful pickup by Sally Fisher.
Great hands there.
And seeing the whole repertoire of shots from Fisher. And that secures another game. The 3-game cushion re-established in this first set and a 4-1 lead for Yorkshire.
Yeah, they don't seem to be doing much wrong at the moment. Gloucester need to try and find a way to get through them. But at the moment, Yorkshire playing very well.
And of course, yesterday we were joined by Minter Dial. Did you enjoy listening to him?
It's thoroughly enjoyable and very informative. Even speaking to him afterwards, he's got so much knowledge of the sport, having played it for that long and being around it and surrounded by his life. And that's, I think, the thing that we're missing in the UK, and a lot of players. Obviously, a lot come from tennis and squash and other sports, but it's still so new to so many of us. And there's just so much more to learn. And I think that's why everyone's loving it, because maybe if you're coming from some other sports, you've stagnated a bit, you're getting worse rather than getting better, whereas I think even at any age you're still learning and getting better at paddle, and that's why it's so exciting. But yeah, great to have that knowledge from someone who knows so much about it.
And a true English gent as well at that.
Absolutely.
It's a brilliant pickup.
And I'd recommend checking out his podcast as well. It's
Yeah.
Very informative.
Yeah, 100%. Flew back by helicopter today.
As we've heard, very
Yeah.
jealous, to London.
Which that was his partner here. I mean, that's a partner you want to find, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's someone I need to try and stay in touch with, I think.
I don't mind if they're missing backhands, forehands. Well,
No.
if they're flying me back by helicopter, I'll take the loss.
Yeah, definitely.
Although, yeah, he was involved today. Lost a couple of tight ones.
Yeah, his match was being streamed. No commentary, unfortunately, but I was able to catch some bits of it, and a very close match. Lost in a tie-break in the second set, but it was a high standard. Yeah, very strong player.
I see that, because I think watching these players as well over 50 just puts people like myself to shame, as in just how fit everyone is here, the amount that they're playing, the movement, their passion. It is an inspiration to make you get out there and have fun, live life.
Yeah, absolutely. If I could be half as fit at this age, I would be a very happy man.
That's nicely done by Sally. it was a good pick-up by Sheridan, but always looking to get on the front foot is Sally Fisher. No hesitation. Half a chance is as good as a full chance. But that's an effective serve, though, from Sheridan. Keeping it tight after what was a slow start in this opening set for Gloucestershire. They've ensured it is just the one break. And they've settled into this opening set nicely now. We will try and keep you up to date as well with the other semi-final, which Surrey are involved. Very strong county.
And again, as we saw yesterday from some of the matches, so easy for this game to turn around in an instant. So I feel like we had a fair few in a tie-break where they looked like they were cruising and suddenly it switched the other way. So every game is never won until it's won.
It feels like Heather Sheridan started this match a little slowly, which is understandable, as we were saying. Is in very quick turnaround, played a lot of paddle this weekend, but she's into a groove now. Suddenly, what looked like a one-sided semi-final, this now becomes a very big point, just long with the serve.
Pressure here on the second serve.
It was a very good second serve, though, but it's really well played by Sally Pendry. Did well there, just defending full stretch.
I think we're seeing better patience from all the players now, trying to build that point up more. Hopefully should make for some nice longer rallies.
So this is technically 3 break points for Gloucestershire. And of course it's a golden point or a sudden death point at deuce. Put in exactly the right place from Nikki Horn.
Again, that's so good from Nikki Horn. Like I was saying, the patience of just keeping that ball, not trying to do too much with it, even though it seems like a slightly easier overhead, and just waiting until that right shot to go for it.
Oh, and again, right down the middle, dissecting the two from Nikki Horn, but don't know whether it's picked up on the camera, but you could just hear, and this is something we referenced yesterday, Sally Fisher guiding her through exactly where the opponents were as she went up for that overhead.
Yeah, it's so important.
So deciding point. Oh, well, you knew where it was going. 3 in a row, the hat-trick of shots down the middle from Nikki Horn, and gets out of jail in that game.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what they say.
Yeah, very good hold. Easily could have been the break back, saving 3 break points in a row, and now Yorkshire have a 5-2 lead in this opening set.
Again, just on what you were saying about communication, another reason why it's so important is so much of this game is about creating the space and moving your opponents around. So knowing where they are on the court really helps find that space and keep the ball away from the opponents.
So if you're Gloucestershire now, having had that happen 3 times in a row, do you just have a little chat with one another and say, right, if it's in the middle, I will go, or you will go?
I think so. I think when something like that has happened and it seems to be working for Yorkshire quite consistently, you need to maybe look at what you can do differently. And again, yeah, that's where communication comes in, not just during the point, but throughout the match, and constantly trying to use those breaks, you know, those change of ends to talk about tactics, to talk about what's happening and how you can try and find a way back in.
So serving to stay in the set now is Sally Pendry. There's that middle ball again. Why not keep using it? But this time it's brilliantly defended by Heather Sheridan, and maybe they did have that little chat, and Sheridan who reacts quickest to that middle ball.
Yeah, that's well played.
Oh, just too much of it. Hits the back wall just before it had bounced in the court. Really good serve to set up Sheridan for the volley.
Yeah, it's well played. It's a nervy position, 15-30, 5-2 down. It's a good play from Gloucester. Oh, apologies, we were 30-15 up.
Yeah, so they will ask the question whether or not Sally Fisher can serve this opening set out. As I say, it was just a slow start, wasn't it, from Gloucestershire? But since going 3-love down, it's been very even.
Yeah, still hard to call. You don't know where this one's going.
We'll try and keep you up to date as well with things on court 2. But as things stand, let's focus on this game for Yorkshire. Well, so often Padel is described like a puzzle, and it feels like Gloucestershire have solved the problem of that middle ball.
Yeah, they're able to anticipate it much better now. Yorkshire doing the right thing, keeping going for it, but now that it's not working, they need to maybe think about changing it up.
Just pushed into the side wall. Maybe a bit of pressure trying to close this set out. Had the lead the whole way, Yorkshire. Just a couple of errors creeping in.
Yeah, I think they're just maybe trying to do a bit too much, trying to win the point from the back of the court.
Oh, they steal the point. Wonderful reaction from Nikki Horn there. And it's a big point to steal as well. Otherwise, they would have been facing more break points.
Yeah, that's a very good point from everyone in that point. Very well played, but beautifully finished by Nikki Horn.
reactions. Still kept up by Pendry.
Oh, it's a lovely shot.
And in the end, it's a lovely shot, as you say, from Sally Fisher. It takes something, by the way, to get Sheridan confused. But that was exactly what Sally Fisher was able to do there. So here are a couple of set points for Yorkshire. Well, it's just into the side wall, and it's Yorkshire who take the opening set. It was all about the start. They raced out of the blocks into a 3-love lead, and from there it was very even. Gloucestershire showing plenty of fight, but they couldn't quite get the break back. So it's Yorkshire who take the opening set by 6-3. What are your thoughts on that set, Tom?
Yeah, it was what I was saying earlier on in those first couple of games, where it's just that slight lack of concentration at the start as you're warming up into it. One break at the start, and that's kind of all it takes to lose that momentum. And even though you're playing well and it's very even, that's all it takes to lose the set. I've been in that situation a lot of times. So, but I think they should keep their heads up. I mean, they're playing very well. They definitely looked slightly stronger, I'd say, towards the end of that set than Yorkshire. So, still all to play for here.
It certainly is. And of course, I mentioned yesterday Gloucestershire losing out on the mixed final to the Channel Islands. They got revenge in the quarterfinals against the Channel Islands in the women's, but in the mixed final they were up a match. They were up a set and 4-3, and they just couldn't quite get over the line. They were 2 points away as well. I think they were up 5-1 in the deciding championship tiebreaker, but lost it 13-11 in a dramatic final. It was a really lovely day. Of course, everyone was munching on the soul burgers as well.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that paella you mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, I think I got it hideously wrong. I read it somewhere. I think they might make it here, but yeah, who knows? I think I've sold everyone a bit of a lie. But the soul burgers were a nice replacement.
Wonderful. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's such a nice addition to the whole event.
Yeah, and as I say, it's certainly an event you want to come down to. It's a great atmosphere. Of course, this being a Sunday, not as many because people have travelled far and wide to get here. So, of course, everyone's staying in Bristol last night, so it meant everyone was here watching the mixed final. I'm sure there'll be a decent attendance for the women's final later on. After this one, by the way, we will have the men's semi-final and then the men's final to follow after that. So I think it's going to be quite a late finish this evening here at Rocket Padel in Bristol. Oh, well, yeah, you've got to feel it in a way for Sally Pendry there. She was so patient, but once more a bit of wizardry from Nikki Horn to steal the point.
Oh, brilliant. And brilliant to see the standards still so high early on in this second set. I feel quite often that first game of the new set can always be a bit tense. Both teams a bit nervous, either trying to keep the momentum. It's an important game to win, but both teams playing so well. And again, another great
dig
shot
from Sally Fisher. And they've done it again, haven't they? It was a fast start in set one, and Yorkshire make a fast start in set two as well. They get the early break.
Yeah, very well played. Again, though, well played from both teams. I think Gloucestershire will be feeling a bit down about that. Unlucky to lose that one. They didn't do much wrong. Yorkshire just played too well.
Well, as we were saying, we had a little bit of a hit on one of the outside courts prior to this, and you were giving me all sorts of tips. It was really helpful. And one of them was on the smash, because I'm typical tennis player, as in was trying to hit it the highest point, not hitting round the side of it. And you were then saying to me, look, don't try and finish the point with the smash. Like, set it up for the next ball. Just retake over the net. And watching what Sally Pendry was doing, albeit she lost that point, but that was what I was finding so impressive there, is in she was just maintaining the net. And
yeah.
That's something that it was new to me, and you really helped me out there with that.
Well, it's such a different mindset coming from tennis. As soon as the ball is over your head in tennis, you are looking to finish that point. You're looking to put that away. And there are times in paddle when that's the case. If it's a very easy ball and you want to sort of hit a big kick smash out, that does happen. But more often than not, that overhead is to regain that net position. It's a complete different mentality to have than in tennis. So yeah, trying to understand what your intention is with that shot is so much more important, and that's why you want to take some pace off and slow it down, because it then gives you more time to regain that net position. And most points are won from winning volleys in Padel. Same in the pros. Most points are won with volleys rather than smashes, so you're not really looking to finish that smash too often.
Yeah, and that was why not only yourself, but of course we had Nez and Minter yesterday all mentioning the P word, patience, and how important it is in Padel. And not only patience from the back, but patience in attack. That one wasn't the best of lobs, and exactly the point we were making. That one was a put-away volley, and Sally Fisher showing us all once again how it's done.
Yeah, lovely angle on that ball. Kept it low, didn't bounce off the glass much, so hard to do anything with.
I think Gloucestershire will be a little frustrated here in terms of how they've started this set, because as we were both saying, they finished the first set perhaps the stronger of the two counties. But it's Yorkshire who, it is a case of deja vu. They have once more been the team to race out of the blocks at the start of a set.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Yorkshire here. I think it can be such a hard thing to do to win that first set. You can quite often you can relax a little, feel comfortable, and that's where maybe errors some slip in. The other team can maybe get on top, but they've come out strong and are playing so well.
So they secure the second game of the second set. It's a 2-love lead for Yorkshire. Incidentally, update for you from the other semi-final. I can tell you that Surrey have just beaten East Scotland. So it could be the battle of Tom Fallis's two counties of Surrey versus Yorkshire in the final. But we've still got a fair way left to go in this semi-final. They're still going on court 2, incidentally, between the number 2s of Gloucestershire and Yorkshire. Oh, it's a brilliant dig there from Sally Pendry. Now back pedalling. Looked like a slight miss hit. Nearly works though for Sheridan, but not against Nikki Horn. And they're such a lovely combination, aren't they, this Yorkshire pair, because off the back foot, off the defence, Nikki Horn so good with her awareness, and we've seen so many times Fisher being the finisher.
Yeah, you can really tell that they've played a lot together. They know exactly where to be. They know who's taking what balls. It's wonderful to watch.
I wonder whether that is a nickname, by the way, Finisher Fisher. Although that's quite tough to say. So
Finisher Fisher, yeah, could catch on. We'll see.
Fisher the finisher.
I'll try and start that off in Yorkshire.
Do you train with this pair much? Do you see them hitting?
Just mentioning earlier, yeah, I've seen them around quite often. I play a lot with the women in the over 40s who I know have partnered both of these ladies before, but I've not actually played with either of them.
Avoiding it, I would too, to be honest. I
don't think my ego could take it, so so I might stay well away. But no, it is a lovely community up in Yorkshire. What a shot!
There's the finisher again, Fisher the finisher, and a chance for a double break lead here. And this would be a mountain to climb for Gloucestershire, considering they haven't broken the Yorkshire serve once in this semi-final. Now they're going to have to try and break them twice to turn this match around. Yorkshire in control, up a set and now up a double break. It's a 3-love lead.
Yeah, that looks like there's just some frustration from Gloucestershire there. They kind of seem to be running out of ideas slightly. That shot you wouldn't often see Sheridan hit.
And again, just wonder whether there is a little bit of fatigue. And you have to remember, they're likely to be particularly more fatigued for Sheridan, because they did so well in the mixed yesterday. She did so well in particular by making the final. Didn't actually play in the championship tiebreaker. It was her partner Suso Pedillo who paired up with Marie Bell. But either way, it was a late finish.
Big game, this one coming up. See what Gloucestershire have. Try and get back in this set.
He can do no wrong right now, Fisher and Horn, who incidentally ran away in the quarterfinals against Kent in the ones. They won the first set 7-5 and then took the second 6-love. So maybe they're a team who just take a little while to get going.
It was a lovely rouleau from Pendry into the side fence, but Yorkshire again just so switched on, able to take advantage.
So you're going to have to tell me, rouleau. What's a rouleau?
Yeah, sorry. So a rouleau is when the left-sided player, it's coming over your head, and you hit an overhead, quite often with a little bit of topspin, and you're aiming to angle it into the cross-court fence. It's such an effective shot. You'll see it all the time in the pros, because into that fence it can just bounce off anywhere. You don't know where it's going to go. Puts the opponents under so much pressure, and in general, it's a fairly safe shot to play. You know, margin for error isn't that high.
To play that shot, quite a bit of pronation with the wrist, is that?
Yeah, it's similar. If you're coming from tennis, it's usually an easier shot to play because of the topspin serve. It's quite a similar action. You want to get a slight bit of kick, arch your back, and aim for that fence. The closer to the fence you can hit it, the more likely the ball tends to be to bounce low, but it's so unpredictable with that fence. Been doing a lot of work on working out how to defend the rouleau as well. It's quite a debated topic, whether you try and move in, take the volley and don't let it hit, or if you stay back and let it hit. It can really depend opponent to opponent.
So would you decide to react off the fence?
I think it depends on the player. I think if you can see that your opponent is hitting it consistently and well, I think I'd advise moving into that sort of dreaded no man's land we were mentioning a little bit earlier yesterday, and trying to take it before it hits the fence. If they're less consistent with it, then potentially let it hit. But it's a tough one. It's really hard to know what to do.
Well, these are troubling times for Gloucestershire right now. All the momentum is with Yorkshire, but that'll do nicely. A really effective serve by Sheridan. Is there much Gloucestershire can do right now, down love 4, 15-30?
Again, it seems like they're just getting quite frustrated, which is understandable. As you said, played a lot of matches. They seem to be wanting to finish points fairly quickly. So I'd suggest potentially just trying to regain that patience. You know, it's never over till it's over. They can still work their way back in this, but it's going to be tough.
That's good length on the volley, and Yorkshire break again for a 5-love lead. And a game away from securing this match. Unsure what the score is on the second matchup in this semi-final, but you can probably see in the background, or at least you can hear, it's still ongoing. So all hope is certainly not lost for Gloucestershire.
Yeah, trying to catch some points in the corner of my eye, and the breaks between this, it looks like a close game.
As I say, a reminder, we will have the men's semi-final after this. I can tell you that the 8 teams to make the quarter-finals. It's Hampshire, Buckinghamshire, Yorkshire versus Cheshire, Avon versus Surrey, and Channel Islands versus Sussex. So those were the 8 teams to make the quarter-finals. That was out of 6 groups. 6 teams topped the group, and then there were 2 lucky runners-up, so to speak, to make the quarter-finals. But yeah, we'll have the semis of the men's after this, and then the men's final as well to come. So certainly worth staying with us throughout the evening. Meanwhile, it is Yorkshire, and in particular Sally Fisher, serving for the match. 5-love. Luckily, Sally Fisher seems to be okay. Horn keeping her concentration well. Good to see Fisher is okay. Little nod to her partner.
That's a great recovery from Fisher there to get back on her feet so quickly. And again, that's where your teammate comes into play. Nikki Horn was straight there, covering for her. They'd lost the point, but played very well.
Right into the corner. So accurate from Fisher.
And such a good weighting on the ball as well. It's just not bouncing up high at all. It's so hard to do anything with. It's the other thing that's so hard for Gloucestershire to get back into it when both players from Yorkshire are playing so well. Quite often in a paddle match you can use a tactic of trying to attack a player who maybe is not performing as well as the other, but both players for Yorkshire just seem unstoppable right now. There again, brilliant shot.
Wrapping the racket around the outside of the ball. Fisher, the finisher, living up to a newfound name that we've created for her. Apologies if you don't like it when you rewatch this.
No, I think that one's definitely going to catch on.
So it's now 2 match points for Yorkshire. It has been a phenomenal performance. Did look even, didn't it? One stage, Gloucestershire had a few break-back points early in that, or late in that first set, but it's Yorkshire who secure this match. A superb performance from both Sally Fisher and Nikki Horn. Valiant effort from Sheridan and Pendry, particularly second half of the opening set, where it looked like it was close and it might switch their way, but once Yorkshire secured that first set, they were able to run away with it. Super play. Your thoughts, Tom?
Yes, I'll be maintaining my Yorkshire support for now. No, I think they did a great job. Like you were saying, it seemed pretty even in that first set. And going into the second, those first couple of games, some really good rallies, but then Yorkshire just seemed to sort of steamroller away with it, and it was a great performance in the end.
Yeah, and they combined so well, as you were saying. So, well, they will get rested. They might be, or one of them might be needed for a championship deciding tiebreaker. The second match still going on, but Yorkshire 1 up in this semi-finals against Gloucestershire. So a few moments ago, you may have been with us to see Yorkshire and Sally Fisher and Nikki Horn play some phenomenal paddle to win 6-3, 6-love. But as we were saying then, we didn't know whether they had secured their passage through to the final, because in the twos, it was Gloucestershire who were able to win that battle. So here we go. It's a championship deciding matchup, championship tiebreaker. This is a deciding tiebreaker to 10. And the winner of which will decide who goes through to the final. Is it Yorkshire or Gloucestershire? A reminder, Surrey already in the final. And the teams, incidentally, it's Heather Sheridan, who is the number 1 player for Gloucestershire, who's kept her place, and she's joined by Marie Bell, as I say, Marie Bell, who played in the championship tiebreaker decider in the final of the mixed against the Channel Islands. So it's not her first rodeo. And in for Yorkshire is Gillian Smale, otherwise known as Gilly Smale, to go alongside Sally Fisher. It's been a super start for Gloucestershire.
Yeah, the dreaded 10-point shootout. Great to watch, horrible to play.
And yesterday, it seemed one team would always go 5-1 up every single match tiebreaker that we saw. That's really rock-solid play from Marie Bell. No nerves there. What a start from Gloucestershire. It's just gone long. So Yorkshire on the board.
Yeah, strong start there from Gloucestershire. And again, it's so impressive the amount of paddle that these players have played.
Oh, this is just clinical, isn't it, from Sheridan and Bell?
You called it, Pete, 5-1 again.
I wonder if they've got a deal set up, right? If you're playing a match tiebreak, someone's got to be 5-1 in front. And having said that, wasn't always the team that went 5-1 in front that won yesterday.
I was about to say I would be a bit anxious, but the way the last few have gone, it's looking good for Yorkshire, maybe.
Yeah, much discussion. What do you think they're saying there between Fisher and Smale?
It's hard to know. Again, I've not seen Smale play much before, so I don't know how often these two will have played together, but she looks like she's got very good hands, but maybe not as comfortable off the glass, so I think they need to try and get to the net. Oh, well played. I think that might be what they need to do more of, just that aggression. Try and come forward.
2-5, and if Fisher can win both of these points on her serve, suddenly it's game on again. This is, I feel like we might be stuck in deja vu or whatever it's called. Rinse and repeat. It's brilliant paddle all round. Oh, that's terrific play. Well, you can see they were targeting Gilly Smale there, but this time her defence held up, and she was able to turn that defence into attack in just a couple of shots.
Yeah, really well played. And I know we were joking a little bit, but Sheridan will be feeling, you know, she was 5-1 up in a position like this before and lost it, so that will be creeping in the back of her mind, the more points that Yorkshire are winning here.
Oh, yes. That's great awareness from Marie Bell.
Yeah, that flat smash, just bouncing off the back glass a bit too much, creating quite a nice shot there.
So quick to react to it. I don't know whether it's because we're right in front of what she just did there, but the footwork from Bell, so sharp to be in position.
Yeah, very impressive. But again, you can just tell that's someone who's played a lot and really understands where the ball's going to be coming and being in the right position.
Oh, it's a good firm hit from Sheridan. Deadly accurate. And we saw this yesterday when big points roll around. Nerveless. It's the player who once represented Ireland in paddle. Oh, this is a dominant match tiebreaker from Gloucestershire. An 8-3 lead. Who saw this coming?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to get back now. I mean, you never know, but Yorkshire are really going to have to dig in deep here.
Yeah, that's relentless from Fisher.
Yeah, they've got one back here.
It was a must-win point, wasn't it, really? A reminder that Surrey are in the final of the women's event. They got the better of East Scotland earlier on. So they will be watching and waiting and no doubt doing a little bit of homework on whichever team makes it through. But just wonder, as far as Gloucestershire are concerned, we did wonder whether splitting this pair up was intentional in terms of Marie Bell to ensure that they perhaps had the best partnership for this match tiebreaker.
Yeah, definitely could have been. I mean, I've talked about it quite a lot and over the past 2 days, but it's so interesting, the tactics and dynamics of choosing your team and putting who with who.
Yorkshire not out of it yet. This is a very big point, but that's a missed overhead from Smale. And I just wonder how costly that could prove to be. Lovely to see the reaction. Both Yorkshire players smiling.
Yeah, head still up, very impressive. And great mentality.
And as Minter said yesterday, number one, have fun.
Absolutely.
Everyone having a lot of fun. Marie Bell then here with 5 match points. It's Gloucestershire who are in the final. What a match tiebreaker that was from Heather Sheridan and Marie Bell, combining to play almost perfect paddle. Yorkshire come up short. They played a brilliant match in the ones, but it isn't enough. You've got to have depth in your team, and it's Gloucestershire who move on.
Yeah, it's an impressive performance, especially from Sheridan. They're coming off a loss. You know, you could be a bit down, a bit in your head, and just to come out so strong like that and perform the way she did. Both of them well played, but well played to all round. You know, the Yorkshire team should be very proud of themselves. They've done very well to get to this stage, and yeah, good match.
Yeah, and we're seeing them interact just off the court here as well in front of us, and we saw how they interacted as well after the twos had lost, and clearly great camaraderie, and you know, they're all hugging each other, smiling, and yeah, they'll be a little disappointed to not make the final, but lovely to see the sportsmanship, which is so important in this sport. But it's Gloucestershire who move through to face Surrey in the final a little later on today. I think that will be played on another court, but we will keep you up to date with who wins it. Well, welcome back, and some good news for you. We were thinking we might not witness the women's final, but here we are. We have the women's final for you. It is Surrey against Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire with that little bit of an upset win over Yorkshire in the semi-finals, whereas Surrey got the better of East Scotland earlier on. They were a lot quicker in winning their match against the Scots. So it is Surrey versus Gloucestershire. These are the ones. A player you might have seen yesterday on this court, Elvira Campione, who starred in some of the mixed matches. And she is combining with Chrissy Runnacles. And they are taking on, well, Marie Bell and Heather Sheridan. So interesting what Gloucestershire have done, because, of course, we saw earlier on Heather Sheridan played with Sally Pendry. And so they've decided to switch it around, but it was Sheridan and Bell who were able to win that brilliant match tiebreaker. So Tom Fallis, who's alongside myself, Pete Hodges, once again, they clearly felt good.
Yeah, I think they seem to be playing very well together in that match tiebreak. I don't know this for sure, but it seems like they've definitely played together more often than the pairing before, so it looks like they're just really trying to go for the win here. You can't blame them. I mean, again, I sound like a broken record, but they've played so much paddle now. You know, the last thing you want to do is try and take it to a championship tiebreak shootout again at the end, so looks like I think they're just really trying to get the win in two here.
Oh, that's nicely done from Marie Bell. Now, they didn't put a foot wrong in that match tiebreaker, Sheridan and Bell. And so I'm sure they were hoping for more of the same. And again, precision from Bell. And a reminder, by the way, it is full sets to 6, and it's golden points when we get to deuce. So straight away, we have our first deciding point. She'll be a little annoyed there, and you can see the reaction from Sheridan. And Surrey survive. They're able to hold serve to get us underway in this final match. And a reminder, of course, if the twos were to win their match and the ones were to lose here, then we would play a championship match tiebreaker. So first to 10 to decide it, where one player from each of the pairs will play against one another. Incidentally, Surrey came through Group 5, they topped Group 5. That was a group that consisted of Dorset and Cornwall and Kent. And then, as I said before, that really good win over East Scotland in the semi-finals to book this meeting with Gloucestershire. Now, those long levers helping out Elvira there. Showing she's human, hasn't done too much wrong, Bell, in the last half hour or so. Who are you going with here, Tom, if you had to pick a winner?
It's so hard to say. Both players looking strong. I mean, Gloucestershire just seem to always find a way, don't they? Again, in that last rubber, it looked like Sheridan almost, don't want to say it, but looked a little deflated by the end of the first match she lost. But then just came back so strong in that match tiebreak. They clearly know how to win, and I think that's such a big part of the game, being a competitor, you know, knowing how to win and finding a way even when maybe you're not playing your best. So I think I'd maybe give the edge just to Gloucestershire, but it's going to be a good match.
Yeah, it was a great reaction, wasn't it? Say to get bageled in the second set, but then to step up in the match tiebreaker like Sheridan did, so impressive. Talking of impressive, that's a pretty impressive return from Elvira Campione. And it's an early break for Surrey, a 2-love lead. Well, getting Campione in a muddle. Again, very smart paddle play from Sheridan. Oh, it's so good. I was under real pressure there, but wondrous hand skills from Campione.
That's an excellent point. So great to see the standard still so high, even this late on in the competition.
Incidentally, Elvira plays at the Hurlingham Club in Surrey. Was a physics teacher and also plays real tennis. So it's another, the racket sport, a little different to tennis. But it's amazing how many racket sports players play and then have turned to paddle and now predominantly play paddle. We have, of course, tennis being the main sport that the players tend to play before coming to this sport. But as we've seen already, there's been squash players, there's been racquetball players, and real tennis as well now, as far as Elvira Campione is concerned. It was a difficult lob to deal with and just unable to control it, so Gloucestershire able to get the break back, and that's an excellent response. So 2-1 first set, Surrey lead.
Yeah, very even looking game. Hard to call. Do you call it? Where do you see it going?
Yeah, very tough, isn't it? I mean, Gloucestershire were stealth-like, weren't they, in the previous match, particularly in that match tiebreaker. So as you say, when you're able to perform under such pressure on the big stage, and it's got to give you a lot of confidence. Surrey, maybe the fact that they came through a little more comfortably against East Scotland. It's always that question: do you want to win easily and get it done, which means you can rest and get yourself ready for the final, or do you want to be tested and then you come through that battle and you then feel like you may be playing with the house's money? So really, I haven't given you an answer at all there. Typical commentator's answer.
Yeah, very diplomatic answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got to watch out for the splinters on the gluteus maximus as I sit on the fence. Oh, it's wonderful hand skills again. Initially a great pickup from Sheridan, but, well, Campione said, I'm going to raise the bar even further. Lovely angle.
Brilliant angle, such a good shot. Maybe not the smartest, but it worked, and if you can do it, why not?
That's a great lob, played with pace. Again, phenomenal hand skills and defense. This is some point. It's the never-ending point right now. Got to admire the physicality that's on show here as well. Work that's being put in by every player. Oh, it's such a shame to end on an error, but an amazing rally. Don't know how many shots that was, but great defence throughout from Surrey.
Yeah, I'd love to have the stats of that one, but what a point. Again, the ability from both pairs just to be able to reset the point when it looks like they're in trouble. A high ball up in the air and gets back to it, although it looks like there's some confusion on the score.
30 love. 30 love. 30 love. Oh, sorry, hang on. Love 30. Love 30. Yeah. So a bit of confusion on the score. We were Heather Sheridan saying shouldn't have asked, thinking it was 15 all, but again, lovely spirits that this final is being played in. Oh, that's great reactions at the net from Bell. Oh, and there was the gap, and Sheridan found it. Again, absolutely top-class paddle.
Yeah, it's funny when a point goes on that long, and I've been in that situation before, you feel like you've almost played a game's worth in 1 point, and you do quite quickly forget where you're at.
Oh, there are those hand skills again from Bell. What a sensational pickup.
She's so good at the net. She makes it look so easy. But it's just in the right place and able to be so precise with where her volley's going.
That's smart from Campione. Again, not well aware of where the gap was. Bell a little out of position. Just into the sidewall. So it's going to be another golden point.
Again, I find
Campione to take it off the return.
the dynamic of golden point's so interesting when choosing the receiving team gets to choose who returns.
Oh, it does land in. Amazing defence from Sheridan. That's incredible. How on earth have Gloucestershire won that point? And how on earth have they won the game? Down love 30 in it. And they are now back level 2-all. Fantastic response.
And there it is again. It's that finding a way, even when it looks like they're down. They just know how to win points. It's so impressive.
Well, you said it, and I backed it up. Tough to call which way this Wands final will go.
I think that could be the kind of deciding factor of who can win those important points, especially with Golden Juice. Having the mentality to just come through those key moments is so important in this game.
just got under it a little too much.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, that ball that's going into the fence. You want to try and get it before it hits it, just because you don't know where it's going to go, but it can lead you to risk of when you're moving fast, you're moving into the ball, you can't really stop your body's momentum, so you've got a lot of pace on it. End up just pushing it that too much long.
Well, working Runnicles over there was Bell. Not quite sure, haven't worked out yet how to get the ball past Bell. I don't know whether you've come up with a solution, Tom.
No, it looks very tricky, doesn't it? Again, she just seems to be always in the right place, and that's the key sign of a really, really good player, is when they make it look like they're not even moving that much, because they just know where to be.
Oh, it's wondrous, right on cue as well. As we say, there's no way past Bell. Here, there, everywhere.
I definitely think if I was Surrey right now, I'd try and maybe lob a bit more. They seem so good at the net, Gloucestershire. Those fast balls, they're just able to sort of take the pace and put them exactly where they want. What a shot.
What a shot that is. A little bit of topspin on the forehand pass. And what a turnaround. 3 games in a row for Gloucestershire. Now they are the team who are up a break.
Yeah, there's been quite a few of those, both pairs at the net rallies that Surrey seem to be sort of losing out on, I think. If they can kind of chuck the ball up a bit higher, slow the game down a bit, and try and gain the net that way rather than rush in.
Incidentally, we'll keep you up to date. We had said earlier on we were expecting to see the men's semi-finals, but the men's semi-finals, incidentally, are now taking place elsewhere. But we will bring you the men's final after this women's final. So there has been a little bit of a shuffle around. And, well, I can tell you that Hampshire are in the semi-finals, as are Cheshire. They got a win against Yorkshire, as are Surrey. And Sussex as well. No, I might have got that wrong. You're shaking because you feel Yorkshire won. I've misread it, perhaps.
Yeah, Yorkshire are definitely in the semis.
There you go. Maybe the scoreboard, not quite right that I'm reading, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a slight eye on it in the corner.
I mean, you know the guys, so we will say Yorkshire are in the semi-finals.
Yeah, I think it's Yorkshire against Hampshire and Surrey against Sussex.
Was it Sussex?
Oh, no, maybe not. It's not the greatest.
Well, we'll find
information
out later. But if we get a bit more intel on that, then I'll let everyone know.
All I know is both Yorkshire and Surrey are in the semis, and that's all I care about. Again, great volleying from Bell. Not doing much wrong at the moment.
Oh, not this time. Oh, it was a brilliant way to adapt to get the ball back from Bell. But finally, Surrey get the ball away.
And when that's what you've got to do to win a point, it definitely can seem quite daunting.
And again, right into the corner. So Surrey, if they can just win this point, it'll be another deciding point.
The use of the lob there again, it seems to be working better for them than trying to win the point when their opponents are at the net.
just nicked the side wall. And it is a third straight point for Surrey. So Gloucestershire, who are looking to win a fourth straight game, having been up 40-love. We always talk about momentum shifts. I'll get into that a little more often. It's going to be Campione to take the return here. Now, this is a deciding point, golden point, as it's otherwise known. Golden point, you know who steps up. It's the golden girl, Heather Sheridan. So often when the big points roll around, she plays her best tennis. They went the scenic route, but they're still able to win a fourth straight game. It's a 4-2 lead now for Gloucestershire.
There she is again, stepping up when it counts. The amount of matches I've lost when I blame it on golden points and say it's down to luck, but really it is mentality and winning those important points. It's a skill.
Just about able to communicate between Bell and Sheridan there. Could have been a nasty collision. Brilliant high lob from Bell. And again, they both go for the same ball. And they take advantage of it, Surrey. Bit of miscommunication.
It's a well-built point. A lot more patience again there from Surrey. They're just using that lob to their advantage, waiting for that right ball to come in and pounce on, and it's working well for them.
Point I was going to make about momentum, by the way, is I was going to ask you, how much do you believe in momentum and momentum shifts?
I think it's so important in padel, and it's, for me, the sport where I think it's most obvious. Obviously, using the T word again, but in tennis there's momentum swings. We've seen it throughout history in matches, but I've never known it as much as in padel. 1 point can really just switch the game completely.
And I know there are some out there who don't believe in momentum shifts. They believe it's slightly a myth. I'm of the latter. I think that of course there are momentum shifts. You know, as a player in any sport, when a big point happens or something shifts, and you can just feel it. But from a science point of view, it is always tough to monitor.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? I'd like to know how much research there is done on key points and swing points and that sort of thing. But I think it's definitely there, but I think it's how you deal with it as well as a player, and if you let it affect you too much.
From a theoretical point of view and from a coaching point of view, I know that when I used to work with juniors, we used to do work on momentum shifts, and the belief was if you could win 3 points in a row, that is the momentum shifting. But it's that magic 3 points that switches things up. So you can win 2 quite often, but to win 3, it does tend to shift the momentum.
Okay, interesting. Do you think that's the way that the structure of the points works and the scoring system as well, or?
Yeah, I think it is the structure of the tennis scoring system, as you say, is in to go 40-love up or love 40 or to come back to deuce. That was why it was interesting there. They came back from love 40 down, got back to deuce, but didn't win the next point. So it was almost like that seemingly momentum shift was negated, as we're seeing here. Gloucestershire still with a chance to win a 5th straight game, and they do just that. So now lead by 5 games to 2. But what we used to do with the juniors is you'd play 3-point matches. If you've got 3 players, it's a good thing to do, and it would work in padel as well. So you have, a king of the court, so to speak, but you get a star for every 3 points you win. So you've got to beat your opponent 3-love. If you beat them 2-1, you stay on the court, so you get another chance to win, and then your opponent will be switched. But the winner of the game is how many 3 points you can win. So someone could stay on the court all the time, win 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, but then if they're beaten 3-love in the final one, you don't. And it teaches kids just to keep their concentration every single point. And it's actually a lot harder to do than people realise. Often you'll have 2-1 score lines over and over again because you will get a dip in those 3 points by most players. But as we're seeing here, it's rare you get 3 points won in a row. Even in the 5-game streak that we've seen from Gloucestershire, they haven't been able to win lots of 3 points in a row, but there's no doubt about it. it's Gloucestershire who have all the momentum, up 5-2 now.
Yeah, that sounds like a great drill. I think I'm going to try and introduce that into some of my sessions. Might steal that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, yeah. I think and the kids tend to love it as well because it is points play, right?
Yeah, but it makes total sense. The difference being maybe in paddle, like you were saying, it's harder to win those 3 points in a row because anyone's consistently in a point. You know, tennis, maybe you can have advantage if you've got a strong serve, or if you can be more aggressive, you can kind of keep that momentum and up. Whereas paddle, it really is anyone's point at any time. Even within a point, you know, the momentum change, not even just in a match, but in a point.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
And as Minto was saying yesterday, paddle, there's so many different shots that you can place. The variety, I mean, we've already seen it here, right? I mean, there was a flick over the shoulder that we saw from Bell earlier on. I mean, I've not seen that on the paddle court before. And then that one more conventional with the volley into the corner. But as a coach, Tom, how often, or how do you work on the improvisation shots? Is it just match play?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. There's a few key shots that every keen paddle player will need to learn. So, you know, you've got your starting out from your serve to your return of serve. You've then got your volleys, and then the overheads. And then the overheads is sort of where it changes between tennis and paddle. There's 3 main overheads you can play. You've got the bandeja, which is the defensive smash. It's Spanish translation means tray, because it sort of hits very. Your paddle bat is quite flat, and the purpose of the bandeja is, like we were saying before, to try and maintain that net. So it's a slow defensive smash. Then you've got the vibora, which is a more aggressive overhead. It looks quite similar to the bandeja, but played with a lot more speed and aggression, with the purpose of trying to win the point. Lovely shot there. And then you've got the smash. So you can either play the flat smash or the kick smash.
Well, as you were beautifully running through the shots, it's amazing defence from Bell. Eventually Surrey finding a way through. And this is a chance for Surrey to prolong this set. Chance to get one of the breaks back. Yeah, that's great variety from the Surrey team. We saw the lob, and then that one, the Chiquita, just down low, and it draws the error. So that stops the rot. First game in 6 for Surrey, and they're right back in this opening set.
Yeah, big fist pump there from the Surrey team. Clearly an important game, and they feel like they're still very much in this set.
So all of a sudden, a bit of momentum for Surrey. As we talk about 3 points in a row, we've done just that. And the momentum is shifting their way. Really good overhead. Great accuracy from Runnacles. You can see Campione as well, just trying to keep Runnacles' spirits as high as possible. Full of positivity with the feedback.
And there it is again. I mean, you know, we were just talking about it, but that momentum shift. 5-2 up from Gloucestershire, looking fairly confident, and then suddenly Surrey right back in it.
Yeah, it has been a topsy-turvy set, hasn't it? As in Surrey, who had points for a 3-love lead, or a point for a 3-love lead, but didn't take it, then lost 5 games in a row, but now they've now won the last 2 in a row. So you really don't know which way this final is going to turn next. As we say, it's a wonderful event, terrific centre here at the Rocket Paddle Centre in Bristol. 14 courts, and well, they've got not only just this centre here, they've got another centre as well, haven't they? And they've both been used for these over 50s UK county championships.
Yep, other games were taking place earlier in the day at Surge in Bristol. Just another great club.
Oh, yes. And again, the way that she was able to adapt her body there, Campione, swatting the ball away.
Yeah, looking very confident now, aren't they, the Surrey team? That's a good volley, though, from Sheridan.
Or maybe just a little bit of confusion. That's what those lobs can do, especially down the middle. Two Surrey players getting a little too close, and that might have led to the error.
Rare error there.
Yeah, you said it. Seen very few misses like that from Bell. Maybe a bit of tension as they're trying to get over the line in this first set. Oh, it's a wicked serve, though, from Sheridan. Right into the corner. And that brings up 2 set points for Gloucestershire. And another brilliant serve. Superb way to close out the set. And it's Gloucestershire who take the opener. It really was a roller coaster ride of her first set. Swung one way, then the other. But it's Sheridan and Bell who take it by 6 games to 4.
Yeah, it can be such a hard thing trying to close out a set, especially on serve, when both teams are playing so well. But they've done well there. Again, that mentality shining through from both Gloucestershire players.
Well, of course, there's a whole UK paddle schedule throughout the rest of the year. Many different age groups will be playing. But the next event, by the way, is the UK Paddle Charity Championships. And it won't be live streamed, but it will be in aid of a fantastic charity, the Great Ormond Street Hospital, on Thursday, 5th of June. Companies are encouraged to sign up a team of 4 or more, with all profits going to the Great Ormond Street Hospital. Incidentally, we'll be starting around midday and finishing with a food and drinks reception in the evening. Companies can enter multiple teams to compete in high-energy men's and women's categories, as well as a mixed competition that may also be added, depending on interest in scheduling. Incidentally, the event is tailored for professionals primarily located or operating in the City of London in financial services, law, consulting and fintech, but entries from other sectors are also welcome. So please do go to the ukpaddle.org/UK-paddle-charity championships if you want to know a little more about the event and adding a team to it, or if you just want to go along and enjoy the day. Reminder, Thursday, June the 5th in London. Meanwhile here, Surrey trying to respond after dropping that opening set. Well, we did have Ness on earlier on, didn't we? And it's something we've talked about all week about Surrey. In particular, she's the Surrey captain, and now she was saying sometimes they've been playing for that championship tie-break. What would be the best pair to win it? Very interesting that Sheridan switched partners for this final. And a reminder as well, Gloucestershire lost the final yesterday in the mixed on the match tie-break to the Channel Islands.
Hopefully we can get some update from the other rubber going on. Looks like an even match from what we can see.
Yeah, they are continuing. Every final, I think, I've commentated on in the UK County Padel Championships has gone to the wire. I don't think we've done one dull final.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. The way the sport is played, it's so much harder to completely dominate in a paddle match, especially at this level, this standard. All players know kind of what to do, know how to dig deep and win points. So, especially in these latter stages, it's so even.
And you can see what it means to all the players. We've seen nerves get the better of counties before as well. Well, there are those hand skills again from Sheridan. Superb pickup, and from that point on, Gloucestershire were the favourites for the point.
Yeah, really well played there.
That's another really effective serve. Seems to be hitting her spots more and more as this match is continuing, Sheridan, with that first serve.
They look locked in right now, don't they, the Gloucestershire player?
And again, the accuracy from Bell. Another example of not needing all that much power. That's a very good return, though, from Campione. What's your biggest strength in this sport, Tom?
Oh, that's a good question. I tend to play on the left, just because I like to play quite aggressively. Have a fairly big overhead, but more recently I've actually quite been enjoying playing on the right. It makes me focus more. I think on the left I can end up making a few too many errors, trying to go for too much and not playing sensibly enough, whereas playing on the right, it really makes you focus because your job is to build the point. Your job is to, you know...
Oh, she's made it. Absolutely amazing point. And still we go on.
And back to resetting like it's not happened. It's brilliant.
Well, Bella's also played a couple of unreal shots in this rally early on as well. Oh, it's a shame it ends with a shot off the fence, but that was simply sublime from all four players. Electric paddle. I mean, some of the defensive shots we saw in that, some of the improvisation, the adaptation was just out of this world.
I mean, brilliant there. As you saw from the Surrey team, shot out the door, out the court, still got it back in play and managed to reset. Brilliant. Brilliant point.
Well, that has got to hurt Surrey, hasn't it, a little bit, because for me it looked like they didn't do anything wrong and yet they still end up losing the point, and with it they lost the game. So 1-1. But something else we used to talk about in coaching quite a bit was when you have a long point, it still only counts for 1 point. The next point is just as important, and it's often very quick, as we saw there. So good focus from Runnacles to get a good first serve in and just steal a cheap point straight after the long one.
Yeah, interesting you saying that, and I think that's something that a lot of paddle players find happens. You rush through points really quickly. I think potentially it's because, you know, the court's enclosed, the balls aren't flying off everywhere, you're not having to take a while to reset. It happens so quickly, and in a lot of friendly matches, quite often you don't even change sides. So taking that time is really important, and I think potentially needs to be done a bit more in Padel.
How much time can you take? Is there an inadvertent shot clock?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure, especially for the World Padel Tour level. I've never seen a shot clock whilst watching, but might be in the rules somewhere. I mean, that's the thing with a relatively new sport. All that stuff, I'm sure, is still being worked out. Like Minter was saying yesterday, you know, still a few different rules that people play.
It was very interesting as well. He was saying about the start of the sport, how initially they'll be playing in everyone's different back garden, and you very much had home court advantage. They all had different rules for each different court. Of course, all now homogenised.
I think, yeah, the more popular worldwide the sport gets, as it's becoming, obviously there's keen talks of it entering the Olympics in, well, they think 2032, but potentially even 2028. And, you know, I'm sure by then all the rules will be fleshed out.
Another good overhead from Campione. And, well, we're on serve so far in set 2. 2-1, Surrey lead. Little look of relief from Elvira. Yeah, I mean, it would be fabulous for the sport if it does get that Olympic berth. I have to say, when I played it last, you probably did need a shot clock, because the amount of times I was on the back wall trying to get my breath back to then play another point. I think I frustrated the other 3 guys on the court, to be honest. But these players here, super fit, all of them, absolutely incredible what they are doing. When you consider, I mean, this is probably 10th, 11th match of the weekend, and we've already seen some absolutely incredible long points, and they're right back at it at the next point.
Yeah, I'd love to know the stats on the amount of games that each of these players have played over the last 48 hours. Quite extraordinary to still see the level of paddle that they're playing now.
Incidentally, just had an update from the men's semi-finals. First men's semi-final is in a shootout between Yorkshire and Hampshire. And in the other semi, Surrey lost the first matchup against Sussex. So Sussex in the driving seat so far, 1 up. But of course, Surrey can try and level that. A reminder, we will have the men's final after this final for you. And a further reminder, by the way, yesterday it was the Channel Islands who won the mixed. Perhaps surprise winners, but super performance when you consider just the one paddle court, or paddle centre, I should say, in all of Jersey. Well, they got a lucky net cord a few moments ago. This time the net cord against Gloucestershire. That's a lovely pickup from Bell. And it's enough to draw the error from Campione. Oh, it's so good. Once again, clinical from Sheridan. Blocking that volley right into the corner. I can tell you, by the way, that the other match has finished. We are just trying to find a little bit of intel as to who has won the twos. Feels like we've got a fair way to go in this one, though.
Yeah, both teams still playing at a very high level. Truly is anyone's game.
Solid service hold there, though. And it's 2 games apiece in this second set. No breaks so far, because we saw a number of breaks in the opening set. As we can tell you that Surrey, by the way, won the 2s. So it's a must-win match, this one, for Gloucestershire. Otherwise, they will be out. If they can win it, though, it will be a match tiebreaker, deciding match tiebreaker to be played between one of each pair. Oh, well, real fortune there for Bell. Not only the net caught, but it was a nasty bounce off the fence as well. Double whammy. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, not this time. I mean, it was quite incredible. Bell there had one swipe at the ball, missed it, but still got the ball back on the second attempt.
Yeah, excellent defence, but just a little too strong there in the end. And you'll tend to see that quite often as well. Players attack one player throughout a point. I think, again, you often think, okay, move the ball around, I'll keep switching, but actually attacking one player can often really work. Puts them under so much pressure. What a shot there.
Runnacle's coming up with the goods. That's a very good serve. So again, we remain on serve. 3-2. I think we saw 4 breaks of serve. In fact, it was 3 breaks of serve in the opening set, but very much on serve in this second set. Reminder, it will go to a match tiebreak if they split sets as well. What's next for you, Tom, after this in terms of paddle? Will you be playing any tournaments soon?
Yeah, quite busy with work at the moment and struggling to find the time. I feel like for me, paddle comes in phases. When I've got a bit of free time, I seem to be playing every day, and then suddenly I can go weeks and weeks without playing at all. So
freelancer life.
Yeah, as you know, Pete, very well, it can be hard to try and find the time. But no, as I was saying, I mean, up in Yorkshire, we've got a great atmosphere. There's a lot of very strong players. And yeah, some good teammates up there. So hopefully we'll be playing some more tournaments towards the latter end of the year. But yeah, taking maybe a well-needed break from it for a little bit. It's great that there seems to be more and more tournaments, each year. More coming around, more opportunity for players to get involved, and the likes of UK Padel setting up all these brilliant tournaments with being streamed and commentary from yourself, and it's just so exciting at the moment to play.
Oh, it's a brilliant get from Bell again. Oh, that was the gap, and she knows it. We were right across the line of that backhand, and an inch more, it was a winner. There's a chance though for Surrey. I'd love 30 in this game. Again, the toing and froing of this point. Yeah, the awkwardness of the high backhand volley. And again, that smart play from Runnacles.
I think it was Minter that was mentioning it yesterday, but that high backhand volley is such a tough shot. So trying to make your opponent play it is a good tactic, because so often can lead to the unforced error.
So trouble here for Gloucestershire. 4 break points in a row for Surrey, but that's 1 saved. Great hand skills from Campione. And Bell making a couple of errors in the game, unlike her. And there is the first break of the second set, and it's gone Surrey's way. So they lead 4-2. A reminder, if they win this match, they win the final, and they will be the over-50s women's champions.
Campione's reach at the net is so impressive. She's so hard to beat. She's got so much ability to get to the ball.
As I said before, played a lot of real tennis. That the sport you've ever played, Tom?
Never played real tennis. No. It's similar to squash? Yeah.
It's tough to know. It's almost a mix of tennis, bit of squash, maybe even a bit of paddle as well. I haven't played it. I have watched it. I've held the racket. The rackets are heavy, heavier. The balls are heavier. Not too many places you can play it in the UK. Hurlingham being one of the places you can.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused between real tennis and racquetball.
Yeah.
Real tennis, it's on that big court.
Big court.
Huge
with
walls.
an angled back.
Henry VIII's game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was indeed.
Rightly.
Yeah. Hampton Court is. They do have a real tennis court at Hampton Court.
Wonder if he'd have enjoyed Padel.
I reckon so. That's a devilish shot, isn't it, from Sheridan right down to the feet of Runnacles. Great accuracy from Campione. Thinking the game was done, but it's 40-15. Chance, though, to back up the break here for Surrey. Pinning Sheridan right in the corner. Nothing she could do there. But it's smart from Campione, even though apologises. Don't think she needed to apologise. I think that was the right shot to go for, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's again, we were saying yesterday, it's one of those ones where I think it's more just a courtesy rather than an actual apology. It's a good shot. I don't think any player would begrudge another for playing that. But again, it's just so much respect in the sport.
Well, Surrey a game away from taking us to a match tiebreaker. A reminder, similar to yesterday in the final of the mixed, we went to a match tiebreaker. Gloucestershire, who were up a match, and then they were winning the ones. They were up a set in 4-3, ended up losing that set. They then lost the match tiebreaker to then go to a deciding championship match tiebreaker to decide it all. They were up in it, 5-1, but ended up losing it 13-11 to the Channel Islands. So we could have back-to-back match tiebreakers here. Surrey will hope not. In terms of they'll hope to get to the first match tiebreaker, but then they'll hope to win that, which would secure victory.
It's been an impressive performance in the second set from Surrey. Losing the first and coming back strong.
Bell serving to stay in the second set, 2-5. Oh, bit of adrenaline perhaps in the system there for Campione. Took it away from Runnacles. When you miss a shot like that, you've called it to come across the net. Do you feel even worse because you've taken it from your partner?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the moment you feel it's the right thing to do. If you win the point, you maintain that, and if you don't, you've just got to learn to forget about it. I think it was the right idea, just maybe didn't need to be as aggressive with it. I mean, even if the ball had gone in, it's still bouncing up quite nicely at that speed for your opponent. So just using your head and thinking about best placement for that shot.
Another misconnection for Bell, who's been rock solid really throughout this final, but a couple of errors in this game. Just wonder whether fatigue is playing a factor. And if it is, of course, a long way back in this set. What I mean by fatigue, not only physically but mentally too. But there's a couple of great gets to show she is still dialed in. It's been a slightly error-strewn game, this one.
Yeah, I wonder if that is just that tiredness from all players kicking in, trying to finish the point quickly.
Gets it done for Bell. And a chance to stay alive in set 2.
That's a good shot there. Sometimes it can be tricky when you've got so much time. You can have a lot of decisions going around in your head of what to do. End up making the wrong one, but she played well there.
Missed it. And Gloucestershire do indeed ask the question of Surrey is whether they can serve out this second set. It has just been the one break in set 2. Will it be enough? Have done really well here just to almost reset the point, neutralise the rally, but that's a great overhead from Runnacles.
Yeah, interesting game this. Surrey need to keep their nerve, try and serve it out, take it to the match tiebreak. That last game they seemed to try and rush to the finish line and make some errors they wouldn't have made otherwise.
Oh, nearly. Just couldn't quite take advantage of it. Incidentally, by the way, Surrey are the second-seeded team. Gloucestershire, the third-seeded team. But, of course, Gloucestershire knocked out the top seeds of Yorkshire in this women's event. So, in terms of the seeds, Surrey were the slight favourites coming into this final.
Do you know how the seedings work? Is it based on?
It's based on the top 4 players and where they are ranked.
Ranking.
And Yorkshire somewhat lower than every other county. So it was an upset in the semis for Gloucestershire. Well, that is some backhand smash from Runnacles. She has come to the party in this game.
That's a brilliant shot. So hard to do. Made it look so easy.
Yeah, 40 love, so 4 set points to take us into a match tiebreaker. Maybe a little over-eager to get there.
And again, it's that rushing, trying to get the job done too quickly. You've got to still maintain that patience even at 4 match points up, set points up.
Great backhand smash from Runnacles. And this time they do get it done. And it will be Surrey who are a match tiebreaker away from winning the women's over 50s UK County Championships. They'll have 2 bites of the cherry, because if they don't win this match tiebreaker, we will go to a deciding champions tiebreak. But they won't want the nerves of that. And as we talk about momentum, we've seen it before, haven't we? This was the case yesterday for Gloucestershire. They lost this match tiebreaker, and then you felt the Channel Islands had all the momentum going into that deciding champions tiebreak.
Yeah, it's so tough to call again. Momentum seems to be with Surrey from that set, but Gloucestershire, they just know how to pull through these sort of tight matches. And a championship tiebreak, I mean, it really can go any way.
Yeah, we saw in the semi-finals, of course, that win over Yorkshire, it was Sheridan and Bell who played pretty much a perfect match tiebreaker in the decider. But this is a must-win for Gloucestershire to have any chance of the title. Both, well, the teams are getting the team talks. Don't see Ness around. She must have gone, but as in all of the Surrey team, just giving it a few words of wisdom.
Yeah, as you said, people travelling from all over. It's a Sunday night. And with how good this stream is, people maybe feel like they can go back early and still enjoy the wonderful paddle from the comfort of their own homes.
Yeah, Ness, if you are watching, hope you're enjoying listening to us. It was a pleasure having you in the commentary box yesterday. Maybe your ladies can deliver here for you. Chance then for Surrey to become the champions. But Gloucestershire will have a say. It's a 10-point shootout. What a first point this is. You just wonder the psychological effect of who maybe wins it. Brilliant pick up from Campione, and it's Surrey who take the first point. A stunner of a rally.
What a point. Brilliant from every player there, all getting involved. But the hand's just too good from Campione at the end.
Now, Tom, this might not be the ideal question to you with what you've said about your own game, but do you just bring the margins in a little bit for this match tiebreaker? Do you think, right, let's make as many balls as possible?
I think so. I think using your head, I mean, throughout a paddle match is so important, but especially in a match tiebreak, when most points in paddle are won by errors from the other team rather than winners, choosing the right shot to hit and not doing anything rash is so important, and something I very much do not do in a match tiebreak situation.
Well, it just looked like that was the tactics from both teams in that first point. It's the first error really we've seen in this match tiebreaker. Just wonder what it's like as well playing as Heather Sheridan, who just seems to be constantly on this court and constantly be playing these big points. So steady and assured.
Yeah, as I said early on, she knows how to handle pressure. She's been here before and can step up when it matters.
Just seems to know the right ball and the right shot to play, especially when the pressure comes, which isn't always easy. Very good lob from Runnacles to get Surrey on the offensive.
Smart play from everyone here.
That's an excellent angled smash, but brilliantly got back by Bell. Oh, pinning Sheridan and nearly got it back. But the net not on Gloucestershire's side. Another brilliant rally, though.
Yeah, it really is so impressive. I mean, you know, no players are really holding back. Everyone's still hitting through their shots, hitting good shots, but still smart.
And the movement that we are seeing as well, when you consider how deep we are into this weekend.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It's a super serve as well. Cheap points, invaluable. These two, you're going to have to feel for whoever ends up on the losing team. 3 points apiece. Or in fact, it can't be 3 points apiece. I think it's 3-2 to Surrey, I think. Did so well. Runnacles got the ball low down to Sheridan. As we switch sides, I make that. Well, hang on. So we'll find out the score.
Sorry, is that 3-0 or 4-2?
4-2 to Surrey. So I was getting ahead of myself, but it is Surrey with the advantage as they switch sides. We obviously lost the score. There. So many brilliant long rallies. It's easy to lose your way.
Well, yeah, this is what I was saying before. It's so easily done. I've been in that position loads. You know, you're playing points that can last 40, 50 shots. Sometimes it feels like you've played a set's worth.
Well,
it's a brilliant, brilliant shot.
I think it was in.
Yeah,
it was in. That's exactly what Campione is saying to Runnacles. Now, remind me what that smash is called?
Well, interesting on that one, that's on the right-sided player, it's called a gancho. So you realise that they hit it slightly flatter, push it into the fence. It's a very impressive shot, very hard to do.
And it was done to perfection, but can't make that overhead.
I've been there before. When you hit a brilliant overhead, feel like you're unstoppable, you go again and then it doesn't quite work out.
So a little bit of confusion on the scoreboard as well. We believe that the smash was in, so we think this is 6-3 Surrey.
Confusion all round.
Confusion all round, either way. No confusion on the overhead there for Campione. Absolutely rock solid. So it is 6-4. So the smash was out, had just hit the fence first. That was the point we didn't quite know about. But again, makes no mistake there. Campione taking charge. And it's a 3-point cushion for Surrey.
That's well played.
Yeah, 4-7. Sheridan with the next two serves.
Oh, what a shot. Great rally. Well finished at the end there.
Well, it's a healthy lead, but as we've said before, Tom, time and time again in these match tiebreakers, we've seen it turn around. We've seen those momentum shifts. Is there one more momentum shift in this? If you're Gloucestershire right now, how are you playing the next couple of points?
Well, yeah, if we've learnt anything, it's to never write Sheridan out. I think you've just got to keep doing the same thing. Don't try and do anything too crazy. You know, keep your head in it. The pressure's still on Surrey here. And we've seen that Surrey maybe have the tendency to get a bit excited, just like there.
Yeah.
They want to try and rush to the end.
That was what you were saying. Force Surrey to win it rather than hand it to them. It was a safe point from Gloucestershire, but that would have lifted their spirits because it was a slightly nervy overhead from Runnacles, who, to be fair to her, she's not really done anything wrong in this match tiebreaker until then. So 8-5. Oh, well, it's a very good overhead once again from Campione. That shot has been exceptional in this match tiebreaker. And here we go then, 4 championship points for Surrey. And they're 4 points that would secure the title. Not done yet, though. Gloucestershire able to save the first championship point.
That's great to see, still fighting.
And again, really clutch tennis from Sheridan and Bell.
This is where Surrey might just be feeling a little bit tense here.
2 points the difference. Very good serve from Bell.
That's a great lob.
But it's into the side wall. That's 3 championship points saved. There's still just the 1 remaining.
There it is again, that trying to rush to the finish line.
Any fingernails left, Tom?
I would, if I were playing right now.
Well, the tension is there. Oh, but what a way to finish. Runnacles with an exceptional overhead to get it done. And it's Surrey who are the over 50s women's champions. A nail-biting finish. It really could have gone either way. A terrific effort from Gloucestershire. But it's Surrey who win both of the matches to secure a 2-love win over Gloucestershire. And they are the over 50s women's champions. Tom, what an effort that was.
Oh, brilliant. What a match. And both pairs should be so proud of themselves. I mean, they've all played so well. They've played so much paddle over the last 48 hours, and to still produce a match of that quality at the end, exceptional. But Surrey just too strong at the end, just too powerful.
Yeah, it really was a stunning final, very much a worthy final. The intensity, the physicality, but also the mental toughness from all 4 players. It was of a truly high standard, and certainly, hopefully, if you've watched all of our live streams throughout this weekend, it has inspired you to either pick up a paddle racket or come down to Rocket Paddle in Bristol next time we host an event, because it's certainly worth coming down here. You can grab a couple of beers, you can grab a bit of food, and it's been a stunning weekend really from start to finish. We've still got the men's final to come. We will live stream that, but from us here in the commentary box, we won't be talking you through that one. But please do stay with us for the live stream of that event. But it's been a wonderful weekend. For you, Tom, what's it been like? How much have you enjoyed?
Oh, it's been brilliant. I always love coming here. It's such a great atmosphere. UK Paddle put on just such amazing events. And first time commentating. Not sure I'll be doing loads more of this, but it's been excellent, and you've been great to talk me through it all, Pete.
Well, you were certainly talking me through. I owe you a fee earlier on for all the tips you were giving me, not only throughout the commentary, but actually on the court itself a few moments ago. But it's been a thoroughly enjoyable time for everyone here. A reminder, it was the Channel Islands who won the mixed yesterday, and it's Surrey who are the women's over 50s champions. They get the better of Gloucestershire. Really hope you've enjoyed all of our coverage, and also we'll speak to you again next time. Goodbye.